Hello there, it is the 14th day of March 2022. Greetings from Rwanda's capital Kigali. Here is what makes our top stories tonight. President Paul Kagame has met with General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, the senior Ugandan presidential advisor on special operations and commander of the UPDF land forces to discuss Rwanda-Uganda relations. Officials in Rwanda's Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation have noted that the country has been greatly benefiting from joining the Commonwealth of Nations. A very good evening to you and welcome to Rwanda Television News. My name is Sam Kalisa. As we kick off, let us inform you that President Paul Kagame has met with General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, the senior Ugandan presidential advisor on special operations and commander of the UPDF land forces to discuss Rwanda-Uganda relations. This is the second time the general has visited Rwanda this year. On Monday morning, he was welcomed at the Kigali International Airport by Anne Katusime, the Ugandan charge d'affaires in Rwanda. Brigadier General Willy Rwagasana, the commandant of the Rwandan Republican Guard. Also part of the welcome party was Colonel Ronald Rwivanga, the spokesperson of the Rwanda Defense Force. General Kainerugaba was last in Rwanda in January, where at the time he also held a meeting with President Paul Kagame. Moving ahead to other matters, officials in Rwanda's Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation have noted that the country has been benefiting greatly from joining the Commonwealth of Nations. The observation was made as member states celebrated the Commonwealth Day on Monday. Sergeant Hore has the report.
On Monday morning, the flag of the Commonwealth was hoisted at the Kigali Convention Center to mark the day. Rwanda joined the association back in 2009, only the second country to do so, having never been colonized by the British, the first being Mozambique. Officials in Rwanda's Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation have noted that the country has been greatly benefiting from joining the Commonwealth of Nations, and as part of activities to mark Commonwealth Day, members of both chambers of Rwanda's parliament participated in discussions that focused on the day's theme, which is delivering a common future. And the MPs also assessed preparations for CHOGM 2022 that Kigali will be hosting in June. In general, the parliamentarians commended Rwanda's standing in the association, that President Paul Kagame is to become the chair in office for the next 2 years, starting when the country hosts the gathering. This day, Commonwealth Day, reminds us that when countries come together, there are benefits to be had. Let us also commend the fact that our country will be hosting CHOGM in 3 months, and discussions like this help us to better prepare for the event. Let us also thank the government for being able to effectively fight the COVID-19 pandemic, because had that not been the case, it would have been difficult for us to host that meeting in June. Marking the day also emphasizes an important element of the association itself.
We not only took note of the benefits of hosting such a high-level gathering, but also the key role that the Parliament is expected to play both during the CHOGM and afterwards. I would underline that all we have to do is just to strengthen what we have been doing through parliamentary diplomacy.
The Commonwealth of Nations is an association of 54 countries with a combined population of more than 2.5 billion people. On Monday evening, other events were also organized to mark Commonwealth Day.
Thank you, Serge, for the report. And as we move ahead, youth who are participating in the 9th civic training in Bihigo have committed to addressing problems facing the Rwandan society, including caring for the homeless, fighting drug abuse, teenage pregnancy, and more. The Ministry of Local Government is urging the youth to be exemplary and take appropriate action. Nyiragurirwa Florida is a resident of Nyarubuye sector in Musanze district. She is happy that the youth participating in the 9th Bihigo civic training built her a house. Some of the residents of Rukoma sector in Kamonyi districts, especially investors, have collected 1.6 million Rwandan francs that will help the youth in this civic training to perform different duties. The Minister of Local Government, Gatabazi Jean-Marie Vianney, urged these young men and women to be exemplary citizens. We urge them to be exemplary citizens and live their say, have good conducts, as they want others to do, and do things that other citizens can refer themselves to. So all of us Rwandans should not just say empty words, but actions. As Rwanda prepares for the 28th commemoration of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rubavu district, the youth, together with the Minister of National Unity and Civic Engagement, participated in a communal work where they cleaned up the Gisenyi Genocide Memorial, where more than 5,000 genocide victims are laid. Other than clearing the bush around, the youth also planted trees in the Gisenyi town. While opening the civic training, the Minister of National Unity and Civic Engagement, Dr. Bizimana Jean Damascene, urged the youth to use their time wisely and improve the lives of Rwandans. They should be characterized by integrity, commitment, heroism, and restraint from bad conducts like drug abuse, teenage pregnancy, and others. So we encourage them to be characterized by those values and conducts. About 3,000 young men and women are participating in the 9th Inkomeza Mihigo civic training. And up to justice matters, the Chief Justices of Rwanda and Singapore have held a virtual bilateral meeting, and the two officials discussed areas in the justice sector on which their respective countries can cooperate, while also highlighting changes to the judiciary sharing expertise. Both sides noted that the level of cooperation between the justice systems of the two countries is good, and it was emphasized that Rwanda is committed to promoting justice for all.
Such a justice dispensation system must have as attribute, among other, a speedy and affordable quality justice, an independent and accountable judiciary, an enhanced ethics, integrity, and honesty of judges and other judicial officers. And the judicial integrity is very important. So through the High Council of the Judiciary, the Rwandan judiciary has been making some progress in order to instill integrity in the Rwandan judiciary.
Singapore's Chief Justice noted that the COVID-19 pandemic resulted in the way courts in his country hold proceedings, stating that things like video conferencing are used so that people do not have to physically gather together. And Dr. Faustin Nhezidiayo told his Singaporean counterpart that the court system here in Rwanda now puts a lot of emphasis on not unnecessarily delaying cases.
I would like to first point out the need really to speed up the disposal of cases because we have a very large backlog, and we have to design in the Rwandan judiciary, and we continue really to design some mechanism in order to speed up the disposal of cases, particularly in criminal cases. That is something that is continue to preoccupy us, and we continue to make sure that access to justice is done, but also speedy delivery of justice is done, because it is one of the strategic plan, the objective of the strategic plan of the Rwandan judiciary.
The Chief Justice also observed that not all of the 75,000 cases received by Rwanda's courts every year are trailed because the country has only 316 judges. Last year, Rwanda and Singapore signed an agreement on judicial cooperation, and this is the second time the meeting is taking place since the agreement was signed. And as we move ahead, people living with disabilities, youth and women say that they are happy with the reforms that have been made in the private sector federation, which have made it possible for their representatives in the forum to address the issues faced. Sidi Patel has the details.
Maranatha Habarurema and Jean de Diupahati are young people in business who provide services based on technology. They point out that having representatives in the private sector federation has made it easy for the business, and they can point out problems at the stage of their infant stage.
PSF ni ibintu byiza dukoreye This reform has helped in many ways, as it helps them to express their views on a particular topic and to share the problems they have. This finds a solution quicker than the past.
Biba byiza cyane kuko byumvikana vuba.
Hope that this level will approach us and ask us what they need, and that the authorities of the private sector federation will be able to advocate for us in banks so that it will be easier for us to do business.
The remarks of the youth are also confirmed by Mrs. Rumia Irantwali, who is differently abled and she has been in the hospitality sector for about 10 years. Happy with the line of communication they have established. It's easier for us to communicate and reach out to authorities so they can develop, because being disabled doesn't mean a person can't work. A person can be physically disabled but mentally fit and be able to achieve a lot and also help others to achieve. Mr. Felix Mutagoma, the director of PSF, says in the recent state of the art reforms, 5 of the 10 private sector associations have now been established, and now there are Federation of Agriculture, Industry, Services, Trade Unions, and a forum of women, people with disabilities and youth.
We speak of a special association, we mean an association that is bringing together 3 types of people: women, youth, and disabled people. That doesn't mean that they no longer belong to their respective associations. We just wanted them to have their own special association so that proper advocacy can be done for their needs.
The people are satisfied with the joint venture to address issues such as disability, be it intellectual disability. They don't want a setback. They're ready to put in more efforts with the private sector federation's support.
These associations were formed based on the pillars that hold up our country's economy. It would be easier for the associations to work with different institutions in the country because they have something in common. So it's easier to coordinate between the two. Unlike before, where there were 10 associations that had no connections to the 5 pillars that hold up our economy.
Siddhi Patel, RTV News.
Today in Rulindo district, the Rwanda Development Bank, BRD, gave solar panels to over 630 people in its program called Chana Challenge, which will be helping citizens to develop and live in good homes. Betty Mutoni has the report.
In Tumba sector, located in Rulindo district, people who were given solar panels include 87-year-old man who noted that since he was born, it is his first time to live in the house that has power. He shares this with a 70-year-old woman who thanked the Rwanda Development Bank and said that this is all done because of good governance.
I would enter in the house and find it too dark, but now I will be able to light the whole house. I will be listening to news on the radio with light in my house. I
would enter with the small light and lay my bed in the darkness. I thank people who thought about us and gave us solar. I was bad off. Just imagine laying my bed at night in the darkness. But now, I just tap the wall and the whole house lights. Everything is now okay. I thank His Excellency, President Paul Kagame, who got me out of the darkness. Now my children are studying well. They would give them a homework, but they could do it the next morning because they could not do it at night due to lack of power. But now they are studying well. I thank Rwanda Development Bank for this kind act. The head strategy research M&E and resource mobilization in Rwanda Development Bank, Blaise Pascal Gasabira, noted that although these people were given solars, the Rwanda Development Bank will be happy to see people using them to improve their standards of living.
The key message is that this is a great opportunity. It demonstrates again how strong is our nation and how we can put our efforts together to do more than what we in the past thought that we could achieve. And another thing is it's a good step towards the achievement of NST1. And we can see that in the future we have a Rwanda which is healthier, which is connected, with an economy that is boosting and achieving what we can call that is now we find only in some countries and not available to all.
According to National Strategic for Transformation NST1, target is of reaching 100% of people with on and off grid by 2024. In Rwanda district has reached 23% in 48 off grid system and 33% in 52% on grid system. Rwanda district administration have a hope of achieving this target in partnership with its citizens. Betty Mutoni, RTV News.
And on behalf of the entire news production team that made it happen, thank you very much for staying with us. My name is Sam Kalisa. Stay safe and have a fruitful week ahead.